and especially lawyers. Did you hear this? This is by Wes Roth.
Now, OpenAI is throwing its hat in the ring. They do have a waitlist you have to join as it's being rolled out to early participants. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll link a link below. Join the waitlist and check it out. But
So I've joined the waitlist, and what that is referring to is the way that SEO and GEO, generative engine optimization, is going to look like moving forward. And would you know what to do with this information? This is really important because more and more people are starting to use AI search engines, including Google is pushing the searches into their AI search engine. But you wouldn't be expected to know this, and I'm not claiming I'm going to sit around teaching it to people because everybody has access to OpenAI, so they can, kind of like do their own self-teaching. But I can give you a general overview, especially if you're a lawyer, because as you move into your practice, if you're a new lawyer and as you're trying to find relevant clients, I can help you with that because I will show you. So over here is what it looks like to an AI engineer or to someone that actually develops the code. So all this stuff right here is the robot.txt file that when you log into this OpenAI, it talks about. So you won't see this if you are just using the ChatGPT interface. If you see up here, I have to go into my developer profile, right? And my API reference is very different from the stuff that you see when you're just chit-chatting with your chatbot on the OpenAI platform. So these are the cutting edge products and processes that they're releasing that are not necessarily hidden, but it would be very hard to kind of convince the mass majority that doesn't have the foundation for this, right? Kind of like if you're a stem cell doctor, and then you have to explain what stem cells do from the beginning of explaining what a zygote is, it would be very difficult. So that's kind of the situation here. And because this is such new technology, it's hard to find the words to convey to the people that I'm trying to reach, that are probably looking for someone like me and also don't have the words. But this is the way in which, at least if you sign up for my services, right, you would be benefiting. And I can't claim I will always be able to take the time out to explain, oh, this is the new little thing, but this one is big enough. And Wes Roth is an excellent source of information. He really is good at distilling kind of like that middle layer of folks that are savvy enough to understand that AI is massive, but at the same time doesn't get as technical as I do, and is also in a different niche in terms of, I think the way that he generates income is a little bit different. He's coming from e-commerce, which I also touch on. But in any case, instead of me recreating the stuff he's talking about, I'm just gonna do what he and the others do and just like rip off each other's content, either repackage it, or in this case, I'm just referring to it. But I do suggest going into his school. I believe he has a school also, but he also has a community, and so does AI Grid. I think those two are the better middle layer for more simply explaining the higher level. But for the people that want to know a little bit more in the weeds, and I think this really helps a lot of the developers, and this also I feel really helps product managers that don't know what this stuff is. When I have been on jobs, right? So I still have to wear the golden handcuffs sometimes. When I go to these jobs, it's really hard to communicate like the technicalities. But once again, this is massive, because if you're not getting yourself into the AI search engines right now, then you're going to be scrambling to get to be on there, just like the SEO race on Google has been the thing for years. So right now is like that moment in time where people are saying you should buy Bitcoin. It's worth 1 penny right now, but just wait. So I'm inviting whichever new lawyers have $1,000 for the first 2 months, and then we'll see their client base increase as we fine tune the hyper targeted marketing to appease you and your specific likes and dislikes in a very little time consuming way, because that's what AI does. It leverages a lot of things, right? So now that I've said that, I just want to set the preface here for who this content is for and who it's not. and I want to thwart thousands of questions by loyal subscribers and curious people whom I very much appreciate. It's just that the AI money train is moving really fast. So I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. It doesn't matter to me if you believe in AI or baby AGI or whatever, right? If you believe in aliens, I don't really care, right? What I'm talking about right now is two lawyers that are brand new lawyers that are focused on building their client base, as we see more and more mercenaries like me are also teaching regular folks how to put in their own paperwork to avoid going to a lawyer, right? So as I see all that evolving, we know that there's going to be a huge ROI for the people that invest in making sure that they're findable. So here is the API stuff. The way that it works for my systems, you will see over here. Here's an example of where I keep all my files, right? So these are hundreds of websites that I run. All of them have their own robots.txt. It's all automated in there. So they just released this information, and I'm not going to sit here and go through and copy and paste that into every single one. And I am also not going to use WordPress because I can't fine tune WordPress the way I can HTML, and the way that that looks in code. It's over here. Here's my robots.txt. And then now what I do is I take all this information, and yes, it was incredibly useful. Excuse me. So, and look at this. Published IP addresses. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna see what this looks like. And this is what it, so interesting. Okay, this is very interesting information to somebody like me. IPv4 prefix, interesting. So what does this mean to me? It means that when I start to ping the domains that are under me, so that I don't confuse you, there's two different things. I own my own digital real estate. So when I attract clients for you, it has nothing to do with you or your brand messaging or the way you would do it or what your website looks like. Basically, I'm a ghost inside the machine that pushes the traffic towards you. However, if you want your website to start ranking on AI search engines, that is a separate service, and I also can do that for you. It's just not going to be the $1,000 a month until I have enough. No, I think that is always going to be more, because building a basic SEO website is usually about $8,000 if you want a really good one, right? So I can't undersell you something that is that much of an undertaking. But I do have ways to make it more cost effective if you use the templates that I offer. So that is a different thing. And this is not necessarily a sales pitch. This is me trying to communicate to lawyers that are emerging from law school, that are seeing the writing on the wall, that are seeing people talking about making money off AI. People talking about it's just a bubble and how only big companies are going to make money. No, sir. People like me are making a killing, right? Because we're positioning ourselves to help people like you. And actually, when I say people like me, I have not ran into anybody that is able to comprehend this level of architecture. So what I do is, first of all, like, this is incredibly useful information for me, because of course I am going to be running VPNs that have the automation in them to ping the search engines so that it becomes clear to them that people are looking for you and for me, right? So that is one aspect of the 1K a month services. Not for your website, but for the websites that bring about the bubbling up of the specific kind of client that you're looking for, right? Because the algorithms are not just like, they're not just feeding you what they think you want to see. They are also very manipulatable in terms of, I can breadcrumb the algorithms to go and find these people that would be good fits for you. For me to be able to explain that, it would be, again, back to my analogy of expecting Michael Jordan to teach me how to dunk when I'm a 5'5", 46-year-old female in amazing shape with my own, right, my own genetic advantages biologically, but still I'm probably not going to be able to dunk. So I'm not going to waste anybody's time trying to teach you the craft I have gone to many years of school for. And I also think I'm a little bit more like Rain Man, so it's a little bit harder to explain how this all turns into math and combinatorics and algorithms and basically like a bunch of connected tunnels where you can decide where in the matrix to push the electricity. And I had a near death, and that's when I've always understood math, but that's when it like turns into like understanding how to apply it. And so when I think about this stuff, it you could probably hear it in my voice. It's just overwhelming because to me it's like flashes of light. It's not like an equation, like a formula that I can write down. It's just like I get this, and I can't necessarily put it into simple terms for especially if the background isn't there for all the data science and all the TCP/IP and all of the way that packets are transmitted and all of the algorithms and all this other stuff, right? So let me stop acting like the narcissist that I am, or let me oppress my narcissistic self. But I just want you to know that I'm not offering you low code, no code chatbot solutions that are kind of silly and will break. I'm offering you real deal like digital mercenary, like digital Doberman. In fact, I bought that domain because this is what I am. Like, I am protecting your resources and your money and my resources and my money, like in the digital landscape. And if you look up Mr. Doberman, what he did was he came up with the Doberman breed because he was Moneybags Doberman, and he would go around collecting money from banks, from his banks, right? And then he had these Dobermans around him to help him protect the money. And the reason why the Dobermans were bred the way they were is because they're quiet dogs, but they will make sure that your money bags are safe. And my service dog is a Doberman, and I just love Dobermans. And actually, my ex-fiance is one of the top lawyers in El Paso, and I don't need to go into that history, that was years ago. But fortunately, to my benefit, I learned a lot of like the lawyer business side stuff that probably, and he was 10 years older than me. He is 10 years older than me, and he had many profitable businesses, and he also has a background in math. So it was easier to understand the nuances, and I can't replace that or replicate that, but I can understand from that perspective some of the stuff to help you look out for with automation, which is a whole other service. But let's begin with the lead magnets and understanding how to apply this stuff that is going to matter to you, right? And then after I add it to all my websites, I go and I ping my websites, and if you sign up your websites, right, for the separate service, then I start to ping your websites. And then we have to make sure that your websites also have these. Otherwise, it's kind of a pointless venture. And that's why I do not offer building websites myself for people that are not interested in the templated version, because then it turns into an hourly job. But if you want the less sophisticated websites and you're just banking on SEO, I can be your middleman. And of course, I'll take my middleman cut, but I will connect you to the right people that are the SEO experts that I learned SEO from, and I still learn from, and I signed up for their sales training so that I could be better at communicating to you what the value is. So what does all this mean to you? It means that when people start using this, which is happening already, this and Perplexity, it's already happening, right? People are already moving away from Google. You will be positioned to be at the top of the pile, and you will be more findable. That's what it means to you. And what it really means to you is that you can look at the data to convince yourself that it's actually working. And as your client base continues to grow, for $1,000 a month, which to me is ridiculously cheap considering that Google ads, if you find someone that will run your Google ads for you, which are ridiculously expensive, you're still spending thousands of dollars less. And how is it that I can offer you this? Because I automated all these processes, right? So if we go back to looking at these files, putting this information into here and then pinging your website is my solution for my own digital real estate, and then I can add it to yours. And again, what does this mean to you? It means that you don't have to trust me. You can just look at the data. However, people do trust me. I mean, I already have clients that are doctors, what else? Real estate brokers, veterinarians here in El Paso, because they know me as a person and they've known me through my lifetime, and I have roots. So they know that when I say something, I'm not joking. And I am very, what's the word? Transparent and math-based, and all of this is ethical. There is nothing here that we're doing that's wrong. That's why I still stand behind the openAI API. I will integrate Gemini because they are meant for marketing. It's just not necessary yet. So again, this is the way that an AI architect, and I will show you my actual website. So this is my actual website. This is what I use when I apply for jobs, or how would you call them, contracts, to the government for super top secret stuff on how to help develop AI safe protocols and how to test for safety behind the scenes. It's called this, what is it? Wind. My God, I just forgot. I just forgot. I think that's me telling me, just shut up already and just get to work. Wind. How can I forget? I don't know why. Like sometimes my brain just, like turns it off, you know? But here, okay, so actually, you know what? I can show you here because I don't want to seem like, oh, it's a teaser. It's not a teaser. Here we go. All right, Tradewinds. Right, this is from Tradewinds. This is when I will meet with them again. So when I put in the non-traditional developer bids for government contracts, this is the website that I use, because I don't just build the agents, right? Like there's so much to this. There's so much cybersecurity. There's so much stuff that goes into these that's way, way beyond the complexity of e-commerce and building websites and stuff like that. So I just want to be really transparent. Yes, I have at least 100 websites. When I find these websites, they cost me 99 cents, $1.49 to run for a year. I throw them into my little tests over here, right? So I throw them into these tests so that I am continually iterating on what is the best approach. How am I best spending your dollars, my dollars? When will it matter? When does stuff like this matter? All these things that are less known amongst the different layers of what it means to be an artificial intelligence architect, which is why I call myself this. Actually, I came up with this word last year because I knew I could see it, that the ability to put all these things together is not a common skill, and I am setting aside six-figure job, regular golden handcuff jobs, to make sure that I put in all of my automation. So this stuff is my flywheel, building money and assets, digital assets for me, as I'm working my golden handcuff jobs, so that I can start to bring this to the local businesses, and particularly to emerging lawyers. You're the first subset of professions that I want to make sure has access to this, because as I mentioned, at the same time that I am doing this, right, I am also the one that is doing things like this. Let me show you here. And so where's my, I don't typically go on social media. I've really, this is not okay by me, stuff like that. It's disgusting, to me, at least, as a female. It's like, can you please not turn this into a subtle Pornhub thing? Let me see, where do I get back to my videos? I just want to show you, here we go. Okay, so my videos. So I am also the person that is helping people understand, like, do they actually really need to go to a lawyer? So here's an example, right? If we watch this.
This is how I'm using AI to help my own life today. This is a real court case. This is a real protective order in my name that I didn't even know that this existed. So here is where I asked the court to let me file pro se. I used AI to find out what kinds of legal rights I had, and I found out that per these rights, I had the right to ask for this to be lifted and for it to be modified.
Okay, so I'm not the one that, so I was the victim in the case. However, I didn't agree with what happened in the city of El Paso, and that's all a whole other story. But the person is no longer behind bars. They're out on bond, but I did finally hear back from the judge and the prosecutor, and they're like, okay, we'll lay off. Right, and what the person did was not okay. But what I'm saying is, I am also the person that is helping people know, like, hey, I need a lawyer, I don't need a lawyer, because I'm a mercenary and I'm an ethical sociopath. But that is why I am saying I can see the writing on the wall, that the layer of the connection of SEO to finding a lawyer to who is even going to be looking for lawyers, now that we know that all of this stuff is evolving and emerging so quickly, that even if you are a part of these kind of circles like this, or the digital CEO that I'm a part of, even so, it's really hard for people to connect these pieces, because you need to understand from the IoT, like the zeros and ones of what makes a computer either work or not work. And in the Navy, I did cryptology and aviation electronics. So like from that level, and my internship was at Seagate. So I'm not trying to be the hero. I'm just letting you know, like, there are so many details into being able to manipulate the algorithms in your favor, but it's doable. It's just you need the right person. You need like the Rain Man / American Psycho on your team, because you're a lawyer and you understand sometimes you have to be the Pitbull, the Doberman, right? And that's who I want to be for you. And hopefully you've convinced yourself that you can decide that it's a good idea to pay $1K a month for 2 months, because I'm not going to keep these rates for forever, especially once I go back to my golden handcuffs for another iteration of that, for as long as it's still worth the money to me, because they still pay me well and I get to learn a lot. And it's not that bad. Being on a team is not that bad, except for this, I am trying to help you build your one person agency as much as I'm building my own one person agency, one agency at a time. This stuff that I'm doing with all these websites is but one of the one man agencies that I'm putting into my little empire. I already have like a physical real estate empire. I was a teacher for 9 years, and then I, at the age of 40, went back for software. So I am one of those people that is a polymath, that is a neuroplastic, that is able to take a little bit of money and do the Jack and the Beanstalk thing, right? So this is the ad that I can't put into TikTok and into into YouTube, because I don't want to get flagged for putting ads on here. But I am going to play it for you now, because this is me. This is my real picture. Like I took this picture a few days ago. Now that I have my digital asset, right? And as I do start to push more on the ads side, and I will show you in a second what I mean by you don't need to be paying through the nose for ads to get your stuff out there right now, because it's the moment, like a very like when the trains are crossing paths, right? And you can like go from one of the train platforms to the next. You can like hop to the next train and go like take yourself to the next level with minimal resources. That's what I'm offering to you for right now until this space gets saturated too. But for lawyers only, because it's hard to for me to want to be so diverse that I'm not niching down on what matters to me right now. Right now I want to help lawyers. Okay, so this is the ad using my own.
You just graduated law school. You need clients. How can you leverage AI? Experience true freedom and focus with AI automation.
I misspelled that.
Imagine feeling free and safe, focused on what truly matters to a lawyer. I offer a solution that eliminates the tedious yet crucial task of qualifying and nurturing leads for emerging law practices. The mundane yet essential tasks of building successful and rewarding law firms often fall into the hands of the least competent individuals due to necessity.
So what am I saying here? I'm saying like as you get the leads, they will already be ready to pay you to be your clients, because I've already built that into my machine learning stuff and my AI stuff and my sales stuff and all the SEO stuff and like lead magnets training, all that stuff is already taken care of. So you don't have to find a receptionist that can answer the phone correctly and not know how to discriminate between a great client that is the right fit for you, and someone who is going to waste your time and make you listen to their boring story, and then they don't even sign up for your services because they're cheap, right? And if that is not what you're about, then I'm not the right person for you. But if you're someone who's like, I just want to practice law, I want the freedom of having a reliable system that's going to attract great clients, and I'm willing to throw $1,000 into this because I understand that lead magnets take time to evolve. However, if what you need is like clients tomorrow, that I can also do, because that with Google Ads, you can actually target very specifically also. But that I'm not going to pay for your ads. You can pay for the ads, and then you can see the ad spend, right? It'll be like your own account. But let's continue. But that's what I'm trying to say here. And because this is such new space, and I'm trying to take the words that I learned from data science, software engineering, SEO, blue collar SEO specialists to the white collar world, it's been a little bit tricky for me to find the right words for you, but I have these higher standards for how many words are okay for you to read, because that's also tricky, because I don't mind reading tons of information, because I read fast, so for me, so that's what I'm getting sales help with. So this is the way I would run my ad, because I want to run it this way. You would not see the ad the way you need to see it, because it's like my digital assets pushing traffic to you, right? So you don't need to bleed into my decision process, because it's so science-based. And I also don't want to be looped into your decision process, because as an AI engineer, I have some standards I have to uphold so that I don't get flagged by governments as they start to roll out more laws and international laws on who gets to use AI and how. Like, I don't want to complicate that for myself, but I can push traffic towards you.
Position yourself with me as your AI automation engineer. I am taking new clients at 1K for first 2 months until July 31st, 2024. Then prices go up again as demand continues to grow. Join me, Elsa, your concierge AI engineer, in a free webinar to learn more about how AI automation can quickly help you establish your new law career. adsforlawyers.club/webinar. Alpha, Delta, the number 4, lawyers.club/webinar. adsforlawyers.club/webinar.
Okay, so the ads for lawyers right now looks like this, and what I'm doing literally after this call is switching over to add this so that I can add the webinars link. So if you try to go there right now, it is what, July 25th, 10:18 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if I try to go to webinars, I don't think it's going to be there yet, because I haven't pushed that into here. Yeah, see? So you'll see this, but don't use that one. When you'll know because you'll be able to see this link right here. I'll show you so that you know that this stuff is for real. And don't worry about that. It's like stupid stuff. So this is the free webinar for lawyers, and when you sign up for this, yes, it's free. And to create a safe space, it also asks you what state you practice in and what year you graduated, and the option to receive SMS for significant information, such as something that could completely change the game. For example, I would not bother you to tell you that Wes Roth, like the Wes Roth information, like that to me is not anything that really you need to pay. You shouldn't have to worry about that. That's my doing. Just like if you were my lawyer, I shouldn't have to worry about why is the court clerk rejecting my pro se, right? So each person in their own lane. I think that this way of me conveying this information to you pre-seminar in a way that lets you access it if you want to. You can play it on double speed like most of us that like to digest a lot of information do on this YouTube, and you'll be primed for this conversation where there will only be lawyers, I probably will mute everybody's mics because it will be a lot of talking at you and then open for questions at the end. If you have questions already when you sign up for the free webinar, you can enter them there. And you might see in some situations this where I was and I am running this school group, but I am switching to paid accounts, and I will start to make this strictly for different professions, right? So right now I had it open to whatever. This person is amazing. So I haven't put a lot of effort into this, and I would rather have the select client forward-thinking lawyers to work with versus having thousands of people in my group that are relying on me to spoon feed them like when I was a teacher and I was teaching kindergarten. Like, I'm not really so interested in that. So this will be possibly still there, but for sure this will remain there because this is included in what I pay for Calendly, and I already collect the payment, and I know that I am already segmenting my markets. If you're an established lawyer and you're curious about automation, you can join this, or you can find a way to let me know, hey, I want to do the automation thing. And if that is who you are as a lawyer, then you should sign up for this, which is not cheap, but automation is not cheap, and this is non-refundable. I don't apply it to the actual cost of building the automation, because that is when I go into your brain and help you decide what should be automated and what shouldn't, and how to roll it out, how to make sure that people are on board, how to make sure that your employees don't get scared and try to obfuscate information that's important to you for the automation projects, because I have a lot of experience with that, kind of being like a rogue, or not rogue, but a undercover on teams where trying to implement automation gets tricky because people get scared and then they act differently, right, and less cooperatively. But none of that is necessary because I'm really good at extracting the algorithms anyway, but it's always better to have cooperation. And so that is a different conversation with a different group of lawyers. If you're a new lawyer and you want to set up already with the automation, which makes it easier to be a one-person agency or maybe a fewer person agency, you can sign up for this also. And I recommend it because the freedom from the golden handcuffs of having a job, the freedom from having to rely, or the freedom of knowing that I have a reliable system that is going to do what it needs to do when it needs to do it the way that it was instructed, has opened up so much capacity for my brain to focus on things that I like and care about. And that's what I'm bringing to you, and that's what I'm selling you. And I think that the easiest way for someone who isn't ready to commit to something bigger, the easiest entry into that is the email list management, inbound email list management that I'm offering for the 1,000K a month. And yeah, that's all I really have for you today. So if you understand that you don't need to know everything about these kinds of things, like what I like what I just showed you over here for the Wes Ross stuff, where they're talking about the openAI API, right? This is me where I signed up for their waitlist, but by the way, I don't need this to understand how to use the stuff, because I write code. Like, I already know what to do with the information. Yeah, so anyhow, enjoy your weekend. It's gonna be the last Sunday of every month until I have enough people to where I can move on to focus on doctors or some other profession, because with automation I'm targeting one profession at a time, so that I have a flywheel of money printing machines that are working for me overnight with fine-tuned algorithms that take less and less of my time to set up initially, but I still monitor them regularly. Yeah, this is the way. It's a new way. Good luck, out there, join me on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, at least as of right now, for lawyers. And yeah, I really hope that no matter what, that you succeed in your law business, because I love lawyers. Everybody wants that pit bull on their team protecting them, and you provide more support, I think, a lot of times than anybody can get from mental health services. And I'm eternally grateful to the ex-fiance that helped me in my own tricky situation when I needed a lawyer for Veterans Affairs stuff and other, I've never been a criminal or anything like that, but just having somebody on your side up to bat for you changed my life. So that's probably also why I chose lawyers first, because I make sure that you guys do well, because I'm doing well. You can do well. Bye.